Another thought. Today is today's a hot one, 30 degrees in Ireland. Amazing. Can you stand the heat? You know, there's that saying, isn't there? If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. What does that actually mean? Does that mean the pressure of cooking? Does that mean the actual physical heat of working in the kitchen? Any of you who've worked as a chef or commis chef or sous chef or a cook, a caterer, knows how incredibly physically demanding and mentally demanding it is. And it is one of those roles that if you can stand the heat, you usually stay in it. I have two cousins who worked in the catering and no longer do, just because of that very reason of it just being pressure, a pressure cooker, literally. You do it for the love of it. So it's important to do what you love for the love of it, but make sure also that you can stand the heat when things get too busy or too tough. And I can definitely say I've been fortunate. I've had tough situations as a therapist, but usually through mistakes that I've made in terms of incorrectly structuring my company or not keeping a close eye on my outgoings, expenses. And so one of the things to keep the heat down is make sure you're limiting how much money you expend out, because your expenses are what can drive how successful you are. I know we're about profits and making profits and then putting some money in, but as a therapist, if you can keep your expenses down, it takes a lot of pressure off you. And God knows the cost of living is rising, isn't it? So we're all feeling the heat, both physically, mentally, and emotionally at the moment. And this, as a therapist, is when, you know, when people need you the most. My clinic is actually getting busier. And I have to say, in the recession time that we had from 2008 to say, I'm going to say roughly 2014, I think, when we really started to come out of it, from then to then was the busiest time I've ever known. Regularly very busy, 5 to 6 days a week, very busy all the time, which was great. It was a great way of treating lots of people and getting lots of experience and learning new things. But there's another saying as well, it reminds me of, is pressures for... Do you feel the pressure? You know, pressures for car tires, or pressure creates diamonds. There's all these kind of sayings. But the one that I sort of remember most is, live your life today as if it was the last day on earth, and look at everything that is beautiful right now in your life, instead of trying to look ahead to the future for something better, because there is no real future and there is no real past. There's only the present moment, which is now. And that's a very philosophical, Taoist, kind of Zen Buddhist thing to say. But what do we really have? What do you really have? You don't really own your house. You don't really own anything except yourself. All other things can be taken away from you, you know, when you think about it. And perhaps this is the way things are going in society, and we need to be prepared for that. But they can't take you away. So live every moment as you can. I know it's easy for me to say on a video and hard to put into practice. So there is a saying in the spiritual work that I do, is that this particular meditation is easy to implement, but hard to do. So have a look and see where the heat is for you. Where do you feel the pressure? Where are you feeling like you need to get out of the kitchen? Perhaps it's your day job. Maybe you're thinking that now is the time to jump ship and become a therapist full time, because I just can't dig the corporate world. I just don't like making money for other big corporate Is there really any security in anything, in any job anymore? I don't know. Don't really know. I think anything can be taken from anyone at any time, including being a therapist. Could be a time where suddenly there's a real plus to say you're not allowed to do blah. But at the end of the day, people, all people at some level, or a good majority of the population at some level, need to receive healing at some level. So even if everything came to a close, you'd still have a queue in your back garden, people coming in to see you. You know, that's the truth. There'll always be a backdoor herbalist. There'll always be some bone setter in the middle of the country somewhere, fixing people on his kitchen table. There's always going to be a need for help. So just stay optimistic and don't let the heat get to you.